from Nottingham. Here we are, going to do the next stage of this project. The weather's been really wet. We had a lot of frost at the back end, all sorts of problems so we thought it's best to leave it until now when we got a bit of decent weather. It's actually dry today, which makes a change. So what we've done, this was obviously full of water, but the one little investment I made a couple of months ago was to get a puddle pump. And I've got to say, this is pretty, it takes the water right down really low, and then you can just scoop it out. So you haven't got it won't spoil your pump. Your pump doesn't sort of burn out like most pumps will. It's got a little sensor on the side which would cut it out. So that's been really good. So we've cleared out a little bit more, just a final clearing, and then this is almost ready, but it was about that much water. So now what I've got to do is render all the insides, because obviously I've used block work on the inside. I'm going to render all that. So what I'm using is, well, this is just like a Bostik Cemento, which is basically like an SBR really, and you mix it up, one part of this, one part cement, and all I'm going to do is just paint that on, and that's going to provide a little bit of a sort of a tacky layer, keying layer if you like. I've left it rough. You can see here it's quite rough, because that will help the key as well when I put the scratch coat of render on today, and then that will bind it in, and then I'll put the top coat on and we'll work it up. So we're putting it on with a steel float, and then we'll be working it up with the plastic float, and around the curves we'll be using the sponge. So we'll have a look at that, but first of all I've just got to paint a little bit of this on. So it's a good little primer really, this is. Just helps it'll help the render to stick a bit. It isn't essential, but you know, it's just another thing that you can do. Obviously for the base, I'm not going to bother for the base to put the primer. I could do, but that's just going straight down, so shouldn't be any problem with the base. So particularly around these curved areas, it'll really get that on in there. And then we're going to mix up a 3 rendering sand, can use wash sand, but 3 rendering sand, 1 cement, and we're going to use a waterproof additive and add that into it, which will waterproof it, but then to be on the safe side we're going to add 2 or 3 layers of G4, which is like a polyurethane coat, and when we do that, that should be all waterproof. So it's one way of making sure that your pool is waterproof when you do it this way. So we've mixed up the mix, so here it is, and what we did, as I say, we used 3 parts rendering sand to 1 cement. Into that we put 5 litres of water were mixed to 1 litre of waterproofer, added that in, mixed it in, so we've ended up with quite a fairly sloppy mix if you like for this rendering. So you can kind of see, but it holds together quite nicely. Something like that would be fine for this exterior rendering. I'm going freelance with this, so you could put battens and screed across, but there's so many curves in it, I'm going to have to do different techniques to get around the curve, and I've only got 1 straight there and a straight there, 2 straights that I could do it. You know, you can put a couple of screeds either side with a little the dab method, where you put a little stick in, and you can render between them once those have gone off a little bit, but I'm going to go freestyle, just get it on, this is called the scratch coat, and I'm going to put a scratch coat on just to cover the whole area so it's all the same background, and then onto that I'm going to put the top coat once it's pulled in a bit. And when I do the top coat, then on the straights we can use a piece of wood just to screed a little bit, or an old spirit level. And then on the curves we've kind of got to use the trowel a little bit more like that to get round that curve. So let's have a go. We'll just sort of see, try and get it so you can see. Just move my mix out of the way. So when it comes to picking up the water, kind of, you can put your trowel flat on it and just sort of peel away to get it. So you don't have to do anything more kind of special than that. I'm just going to get this to go a little bit, so I'm going to cut that, and then just kind of go like that, and you won't drop so much then. And when you put it on, just put it on at a kind of a, well, you can see if you come around there, little me, can go on, you know, if you can go on like that, bring it up and just put it on. So you don't have to, and if you want to do it from the bottom, you can either put a bit on the bottom, the top of your trowel like that. So see how I can pick it up from the top of my trowel and I can paste it on like that. If I want to go down from the top, again, I can come down from the top. If I want to come from the side, put it on the left hand side and then bring it across ways. If I want to do the right hand side, I do the right hand side and come that way. So you've basically just got to get a layer on. So that's all I'm going to do here. I'm just going to put a layer on. Okay, I'm working a little bit. And so there's all sorts of obstacles in the way, of course, but we'll just paste this layer on. Get that here, so we got that. I'm going to mortar these on after. I've got to go down the sides a little bit there with the render, and that's why I've not mortared this one on. It's a sort of a chicken and egg thing. Which one do you do first? So I'm just going to get this layer quite tight, okay, across there. Just put that on. Got to go tight. I've not got a lot to play with. There's not much overhang on the copings, unfortunately. Probably could have done with some slightly bigger copings, as you can see. And we'll just pull it together. And what I'll do, I'll come upwards this time using the trowel in that way. Okay, and that's kind of a little piece there, nearly done. Try and get it on reasonably level. You know, you're not gonna, because you when you do the next one, you're gonna try and get that nice finish on it. And just put the float in like that. Work that a little bit. Just going to get that little bit in the side there, a little bit there. Pull that in. Again, a little bit just there. Pull that in a little bit. Up the top. And then I've just got a little bit at the bottom. So I could just gather it there, or gather it from that bit there and just pull that across. Okay, so that's a little piece done there, and obviously once that's pulled in, I'll put a crisscross on it or scratch it in some way to provide a key for the top coat. So I've got to work my way around and do the whole area. We'll just have a quick look at the curves, just so that I've got to have a little think about this one. I'll show you on this one actually, because that one's still. I'll just move that across. Move that out of the way. So what we'll do on this one, I think, is I can't do that because obviously it's curved. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of put a little bit on the trowel like that and bring it across ways, bring it up. Just have a little bit of, there's a little bit of stone in there, and that's why it didn't behave. So here I'm okay, I can go up because it's flat there. But when I get round to the curves, obviously that'll be a bit different, so I'm going to have to work that a different way. Get a little bit on there again, and this time I'm going to come upwards, and then I'm using the trowel at a slight angle there, just to get around and to create a curve. You'll see it in a minute when I do a bit more. So there, see how I'm kind of coming round? I've got to just use the back edge, I can't use the flat. And what I'm trying to do also as I go, if I can go upwards of course, is to try and smooth it out, try and get a nice curve on it, and if it's a bit thick, take it off. Okay, so we're going to hopefully be left with a nice sort of finish. I can come up that way, but this is the best way, just coming round like that. Various ways of doing it, but that's one way, that's what I'm going to use today. Okay, I'll get this coat on, and then when it's pulled in a bit, we'll look at scratching it up and ready for the top coat. So I'm going to be a while, as you can see. See you in a bit. So we've got the sort of render on, and what I'm going to do now is just crisscross it basically to provide a key. It's just pulling in a bit. The temperature's, I don't know, 9, 10, 11 maybe. So we just want it to pull a little bit more before I put the top coat on. When I've got the top coat, we'll be doing a little bit of rubbing around, either with a float on the flat bits, a plastic float, or a wooden float, of course you could use, and then a little bit of, I'm going to cheat a little bit with a bit of sponge work because around these curves it could be tricky. I will be getting it kind of smoother with the floats, but probably then that's got to, hopefully we can get a couple of hours in or pull in enough to just polish it up a bit. So what I'm doing really is very straightforward, is just crisscrossing. So this is just to provide a bit of a key for the top coat. You can see it's just a little bit, still a little bit kind of wet. So I'm just being fairly gentle on that, and I'm hoping, just got to hope that we get that little bit more sort of drying out time. And around the curves again here, just crisscrossing. And then obviously the top coat's going to be better than I was just literally getting the scratch coat on, just getting something on there, but I will produce a better finish with the float on top. This is the first chance we've had this year of doing this job really. Well, this is the tricky bit now, because we've got to try and get a nice finish on this curve. I mean, this isn't the final finish, there will be a bit of sponge work, and there's a couple of ways of putting it on. Obviously, when it gets to this part, you can kind of sort of put it on like this, and again paste it on. That's one way. Because it's curved, you can't, it's a bit awkward. Okay, so a little bit, you can kind of just drag it up like that. But if that's not working for you, what you can do is just get a little bit on there and chuck it on. And just flick it like that if you want to. As long as it sticks on, we can work it in a minute. So that's another way, which you see a lot on the continent actually. So once you've got it on there a little bit, this is now gets tricky, still tricky, because you kind of got to lift, you mustn't dig that side in, you've got to kind of bring it round and keep this side off the render, otherwise it's going to dig in. What I'm doing is just bringing that round, again this coming back, I'm just lifting this side off, just so I can get a nice curve on that, okay? And obviously I've got to fill in all the bits above and the bits below. And again here, just bringing that round, lifting the front edge. And there's a little bit to fill in the middle, a little bit to fill up there. So I'll get that filled in and we'll bring that round. Let's get a little bit on that, I'm not going to put too much on. Just work this a bit. What I'm doing here, just tip that back, drop it onto the floor, drop it down. Okay, and what I'm doing, just bringing this heap of stuff till it nice and sticks together like that, and then I can get a little bit on it like that, and just fill the bottom bit in a little bit better, and there's a little bit in the middle, a little bit here, a little bit in there, so I can bring that round, just cut it a bit, a little bit down there. There's a little bit in there, and it leaves a bit at the top. So again, a little bit at the top. We'll just pull that down. Whoops. A little bit like that. Right back up, rescue that a bit. Let it stick a bit. You can always get it to stick. If it's falling off, just tap it. Tap it a few times, and then that'll stick. You can get it in there. That's it like that. Again, lift the front edge, and we can then begin to bring it round, fill that bit in, again a little bit of tap just to get it to stick. There we go. Okay. So you can see now I've got to really kind of get a bit of a finish on that. There's a little bit in there. You can see there's a little bit missing there. Okay, we'll just pop that in there. Basically what I'm doing, that's the hardest bit. Obviously a bit easier on these straights, so we'll get all that done and we'll look at the next stage. So we're ready for the little bit of packing in. Now there's a couple of ways we can pack it. We can use the float, plastic float, on the straight bits like this. So you can go round and round. Wait until it sort of takes a fingerprint, so that's about right now. And you just go round and round with your float to get this sort of, it packs it in a bit, You get quite a nice finish when you kind of go. You will get bits, odd bits drop off, and at the top you can just use the float, use that edge, just to sort of get that. You've got to be a bit careful there because it's not the hottest day. It's taken a long while to go up. So yeah, so you can literally sit down. You can literally do that, and if you can pack it a little bit by going round and round, even better. Just to get a nice sort of swirly finish on it. That's one way. So we'll just finish that little bit. Probably use a little brush in the corner, but I've got another method we can show you in just a second. Got to be careful. I don't want to get this too wet at the bottom, and it drags it off because it's too heavy. So just going round and round there. Just pull that last bit in. You can see it gives quite a nice sort of open structure doing it that way. I don't want it absolutely smooth. If I did, I'd be using the steel float and things like that. But the other way, of course, is to use a sponge, and you can just go round and round with a sponge. And if there's a few little bits in the corner, you can get right into these corners. And if there's a bit missing, you can just pick a bit off your board like that and just pop it in. You know, just pop a little bit in there if that's the case. And so what I'm doing, just go round and round again, pack it a little bit. Don't want to open up the texture too much. So we'll just go around there a little bit. Pack that. Just create just slight, don't want it too open, because I'm going to seal it with a sealant later. So all the bits where you go in between, it's perfect for getting in and doing those. Now you wouldn't do this if you're rendering inside. You'd want a really smooth, or plastering. It's a slightly different thing altogether, but for a pool, we're okay. We can use this technique. You can get like a sponge on one of these as well, which is quite good. That's another quite a good useful tool. So I'll just bring that round. You can see it's getting a reasonable finish there. And again, back to this one. I can just sort of go up. Difficult to get in, to be honest, so I'll probably end up using the sponge a bit on this as well. But this does flatten it out a bit. Again, could have used beading actually on the corners. Could have used a bit of beading. There we go. Just get that. And then if you want to just check to make sure you got everything, just a little bit of packing there. And underneath these, just nice that you've got a nice join. What you don't want is water to come underneath and actually break the render off, which is a common problem. Just pack that in a little bit there. You can see it's a reasonable finish. Say some pools in the old days were really smooth, but I think for what we've got here, this will work. And then we'll put 2 or 3 coats of G4. That'll seal it. Obviously, I've got to scrape out the bottom here still. Ready for that. Okay, so yeah, we're getting there.